What's up, bankers?
Hello, bankers.
How are you doing?
How are you doing? How's your summer break going? Let me guess. Better than George Russell's.
Yes. Lonely. I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody on my own. I am so... Remember that song? Woke up in the middle of the night. Yeah.
I keep dancing on my own.
Yeah.
I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. Oh, I'm right over here, but why can't you see me? Toto. Oh, I'm giving it my all. But I'm not the driver you're taking to your yacht on Sardinia. Oh, I am George Russell.
I mean, not only does he take Kimi, it's like one thing. It's like he invited multiple drivers and he didn't even make the cut. He invited he had Kimi Antonelli, fine, but then he invited a second driver, Max Verstappen. It's like, bro.
Yeah.
You invite a competitive driver, a driver on another fucking team before you invite me? You invite my rumored replacement?
The guy you've been flirting with for the past 3 years?
Not only the guy you've been flirting with, I mean, seemingly public enemy number one, the guy who fucking stole one of your championships.
Right.
Osama bin Laden.
The guy that I particularly, if I am George Russell, my number one enemy. The guy who rammed his fucking car into me last year.
The guy who crashed into me ran into me on purpose and bulldozed Lewis Hamilton's 8th title. Yeah. Okay. Crazy. But George Russell's like, it's fine. I got my own boat. I have my own boat.
Yeah.
I have my own boat.
And I'm on my jet ski. Insert George Russell's Instagram post of him on the jet ski. He's like, nothing's wrong with me, babe. Look at my summer break. I'm killing it. Yes, I'm George Russell.
He's got like a 20-foot boat, 30-foot boat. You know, it's like not like just yachts that big. Toto's yacht. That's what George is telling us right now. George's yacht, it's Toto's yacht. It's tacky. It's tacky to have a 100-foot yacht. It's
honestly like in terms of the environmental impact, it's just like actually not above board, my guy.
Yeah.
No, this is
you need a whole staff. It's just too much.
Right. George likes to live simply. George likes to live in a
my boat is the
way.
perfect size.
Yeah.
Toto's yacht way too big.
That's what everyone tells me, that my yacht is the perfect size. And yeah, actually, the big yachts kind of hurt. Listen, you definitely don't want a yacht that's too small, but you also don't want a yacht that's too big, honestly. Like, you just want the one that's in the perfect size. Okay, we kid. But listen, it's summer break, but that doesn't mean that the drama stops. That doesn't mean that the news stops. We have a lot to discuss on this episode of the Red Flags, part of the Vox Media Network. We have, obviously, Toto Wolff cheating on George Russell with Max Verstappen and Kimi Antonelli. Kimi Antonelli's former manager is now suing for his piece of the pie. We've got James Vowles talking about 2027. Screw 2026. Wow. It's all about 2027. We've got Mark Hughes saying that Max Verstappen should actually go to Aston Martin if he's going to change teams. We will discuss how high the Aston Martin ceiling is. And then there's news with regards to the calendar. maybe Imola at the end of the year. We can discuss a little bit about Malaysia. And Flavio Briatore says these teams are going to be worth 10 billion down the line. All of that to discuss on this episode of The Red Flags. But let's start with where we've begun this episode. If you haven't seen the news, Toto Wolff, the internet, Toto Wolff has been on vacation on his yacht in Sardinia, which is a island off the coast of Italy. It's part of the Italian nation. It's where our amazing, illustrator for our book, Formula 101, he lives in Sardinia, and he's a genius. Jody Scheckter, looking like a fuck. Look at the Jewish hammer right there, dude. Sardinia, he's been on the coast of Sardinia, absolutely loving life, and he has invited 2 drivers to come hang out with him while he was there. First, it was Max Verstappen and Kelly Piquet, and then it was Kimi Antonelli and his dad coming to hang out with Toto on the yacht. What does this whole thing say to you, Matt, about the state of what's going on over at the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team organization?
Wow, you nailed that team pronunciation.
Well, someone got mad at me. Someone was like, it's not Mercedes-Benz. It's actually Mercedes-AMG Petronas. Shut up. It's Mercedes.
Okay, misters. I'm simping for the oil sponsor.
Yeah. Give Petronas
put some respect on the state-owned oil company's name.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, what do you think this says about what's going on over at Mercedes?
What does it say? It says what we already kind of know, is that, you know, this is, you know, vacation for the driver lineup you want, not the driver lineup you have.
Yeah.
And Toto wants it. This is what he wants. This is his dream lineup. George is the guy he settled for in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is the box office lineup that he wants. Why he wants it? I mean, in internet comments are always like, this is the greed they talk about in the Bible, right? This level of talent. Right. I mean, if I'm Toto Wolff, I'm actually feeling pretty good about my driver lineup right now. I don't know why you want to shake up the apple cart. You want to shake up the apple cart. But you see it, right? You see with Ron Dennis. Ron Dennis, it's like, he's got Alan Prost. Everything's going well. He's like, let's get Ayrton Senna too.
Yeah.
You know,
this will go great.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's like you got Lando Norris. He's a star. He's beating Daniel Ricciardo like a drum. And then it's like, Zach Brown's like, let's get Oscar Piastri in here. That'll be fun. You know, and then it's just a fucking headache. But they can't, these men can't help themselves, right? They just to normal mortals who just are like, you know what? I want to be able to get my 8 hours of sleep every day and not have the headache. It's like, yeah, George and Kimi, that's a great 1-2 punch, but not to these guys. For some reason, they just want, and I think you said it too. It's like, you also take Max off the board. He can't hurt. You'd rather having him hurting you inside. You'd rather have him beating up on Antonelli in the tent than outside the tent, scoring points from you, you know, as a Mercedes driver than as a Red Bull driver or a McLaren driver, or maybe even an Aston Martin driver. So I guess you'd rather be dealing with him in that regard, is the thought.
Yeah, I guess. I just think, you know, I'm not friend of the pod. We got to get her on the pod at some point, but you know, we've interacted with her a little bit. Podium Sundays, as you've seen her, you've seen, you know, her voiceovers on the internet. She was kind of talking about how you manage an athlete. And I think what this whole thing speaks to, first off, it speaks to the fact that obviously Toto doesn't really rate George, and he has never really rated George in the way that George obviously thinks he should be rated, or hoped that he would be rated, or as many people thought that he should be rated. He delayed bringing him up to fight against Lewis. Unclear if I just think he didn't want to give Lewis the headache. Lewis liked the dynamic as it was with Valtteri. He liked the situation there. He didn't want the headache of like this young, ambitious, kid coming in and trying to disrupt the apple cart. And then he brings him in late. It's the whole thing. But I think there's been a kind of callousness with which Toto has treated George publicly. And look no further than that one, it's like kind of a joke and it's a meme at this point. But like I think it was before Imola last year when, Toto was zooming in being like, this is what, for this weekend, like blah, blah, blah. Kimi, it's okay. No pressure, Bubby. Like everything's going to be fine. You don't have to worry. Like, and then George said, what about any advice from me, Toto? And he was like, shut the fuck up, George. You're a senior member of the team. You need no help. You need no help. You should know how to do this, so shut up. And what Podium Sundays basically said was like, there's this misnomer in people's brains that like a veteran player, a veteran athlete should have no assistance and needs no help, no encouragement because it's your job, so shut up and do your job. And I think that's just like, that's not how people are. That's not how athletes are. Athletes are sensitive people. I mean, how many athletes have you heard talk about like superstitions? Like I wear the same socks every game. I put the left sock on, then the right sock on. I do the same, like they're sensitive and they can feel when the support is not there. And I think like, listen, George has had a shitty season. He has not driven well, but he has also had a ton of instances where the car and the team have let him down. And at every single one of those times, Toto has come in front of this, from front of the press and been like, first knee jerk, this is actually George's fault. And then later been like, actually, that was actually our fault. And there's just been enough times that's happened this year that it just like, I just don't know. The whole thing kind of angers me. I understand that people hate George and George is cringy and George is whatever, but I really think that the way that he has been managed over the past 6 months has been horrible. I really think that the way that Toto has done this, and this is just like salt in the wound, it's a twisting of the knife, and it's like the cherry on top of this whole like, fuck George, you're 29, shut up. You should just, Max Verstappen is coddled.
Exactly.
Anyway.
You're so right. It's like saying like an actor who's like the lead, like 30 or something. It's like, well, you're a movie star now. We should just treat you like shit. We shouldn't give you direction. Your trailer should suck. Like no one would do that. Right.
Right.
Brad Pitt, we're going to focus just on the young actor. That's the support. It doesn't make any sense. Like if you're an athlete, if you're an artist, if you're anybody, I was just watching Glenn Ross for the first, I never watched it. Al Pacino. He's like, he gives, apparently it's better as a play, but anyway, Al Pacino gives this masterful performance where he just like rants. He's like Kevin Spacey's just this horrible drip of a guy in the play. Obviously more issues as a man, but but Al Pacino just loses it at Kevin Spacey. He goes, "You're here to support us. Like that's your job." Like Kevin Spacey's like thinks he's the boss of these sales guys, but then Al Pacino just flips and goes, no, you are here to help us, give us assistance, give us support. And it was like a reframing of like the boss employee relationship. And I mean, when you look at it from that, like George is an asset that he's just, Shiraz put it in, one of our producers put it in. What you're hired for is to support us. Right. And in some ways, like that is what a boss is there to do. Like if you could be a narcissist and be like, I'm in charge, you do as I say, but really like your employees are human capital. They're assets. Right. And you could like treat your assets like shit and they can depreciate, or you can like treat your assets well and they can go to work for you. Like, so yes, I think in a lot of ways, he's doing himself a disservice because he thinks George right now is an expendable asset.
Yes.
Right, George. That's the thing, right? George is in F1.
He kind of is. He kind of is.
Right.
All these guys are to an extent.
Yes.
Like, in some regard, he considered Lewis an expendable asset. That's why he didn't give him the contract that he wanted, because he really wanted Kimi. At a certain point, he looked at Lewis and he said, "Yeah, I could take it or leave it." And I don't know. I just kind of want. I want a couple of things right now. I feel mad on behalf of George. I want George to turn this second half of the season around, and I really want him to have a no. These guys aren't my fucking friends. Stop looking for Toto for this reassurance that I think he constantly looks to Toto for, and just have the chip on your shoulder. I'm going to prove everybody, and most specifically Toto, wrong. Use that bitterness and spite to drive you to greatness if you're one George Russell. But then the other hand, I'm like, you know what? Let Toto have everything that he thinks that he wants. Let him get Max and see how well that turns out. Because then there's been some reports, I don't know how substantiated this is, that Toto's well, I know how to handle two great drivers. I handled it with Nico and Lewis. And I'm like, did you? That did not turn out well. It was actually a fucking mess that everyone talks about as being a mess. Sure, he told them he threatened them with bankruptcy.
He actually told them they'd have to pay for the crashes, and they never crashed again. Which
worked, but that's a break in case of emergency move. That's not and I'm a genius at management. That's a last fucking resort that he pulled, and sure, it worked. Hey, if I threaten you with insolvency, then sure, you'll start acting differently.
If I'm about to, I'll sue you. I'll sue you for damages.
Yeah, Matt, if I started saying hey, don't say anything uncouth on the podcast or I will take you to court, then yeah, maybe, but guess what? The episodes wouldn't be as fun, and we can always take whatever out in the edit anyway. It's you got to work with the fucking people that you have.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no, but I think Toto's calculus is, he doesn't need George, and he doesn't even need George really to win to be operating at 100% to win the championship. The other problem is there's this bootstrap ethos that these guys have. George needs to just bootstrap it.
Right.
But the bootstrapping thing is kind of a myth, right? Because George is this whole idea that George needs to bear down and bootstrap is a bit of a myth, because he is so reliant on them. He is so reliant on the team not fucking up his pit stop.
Yes.
Putting the right fucking front wing on, his engine working, everything. Yeah. I think that he's just not getting the even if it's subconscious, right? He's just not getting the same level of attention to detail that Kimi's certainly getting.
Right.
And
yeah, it's a mess. What do you think is going to happen there? Because then, obviously Max wants to join Mercedes. I don't think Max is taking Toto up on this offer if he doesn't want to go there. I think that he definitely does. Mark Hughes has come out with an article that is on the race saying that actually if Max Verstappen should go anywhere, he should really be looking at one Aston Martin. That's obviously a bold claim. Aston made a big jump, obviously in Hungary, and they have the Honda updated engine coming in Zandvoort. We'll see how high their ceiling is. We'll get to that in a second. But I don't know what do you think is actually going to come of this whole situation? What do you actually think is going to happen with regards to Max Verstappen?
What do I think? It changes. I think he's going to end up at, I think he's going to maybe go to McLaren, maybe. McLaren. I think it's McLaren. I don't think Oscar is happy.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar can't be feeling too good.
Right.
Oscar might want out faster than George. Like George would just grin and bear it. GP's there. I also think that this Mercedes thing is not going to last forever. This party that they're having.
Right.
They can't develop like McLaren can. McLaren's got the McLaren engine. McLaren's has proven that they can develop in season, and they might not come out of the box strong in the beginning of a reg set, but they can develop in the middle of a regulation set at a faster clip. I think that when you look at the Piastri situation, the Norris Piastri situation, that's a lot more combustible, I think, than I think George will just fucking eat shit for, like, he'll just deal with it. Like we look at Weber, like Weber will do something faster, I think, than George will do something.
Right.
That's what I'm feeling like. My gut is telling me he'll go to McLaren, but I think the Aston Martin thing is interesting because, you know, if you look at history, and also, you know, Zach Brown, not afraid to
shake
like
it up.
Piastri was seen as like kind of a bold move at the time, right? And last year it did turn out to be pretty intense. They were very similar in pace and performance, so that was like a big fucking headache. So I don't think Daniel Ricciardo, and people forget this, Daniel Ricciardo was supposed to be a fucking headache. Like that was like arguably like Lando was supposed to be the number 2 driver there. It's like, you're going to learn under this guy. And then because we weren't sure about Lando, like Lando and Carlos Sainz Carlos Sainz kind of had Lando's number, and then Lando's like was kind of catching him. And then they got Daniel Ricciardo in there. Honestly, that was the best thing Carlos Sainz ever did, right? Is like get that Ferrari offer and then flip. I think Lando beats him like a drum the next year. And then his career is kind of never looking that good again. Like that Ferrari offer is not there the following year. Like because Lando, if you look at the qualifyings, was like slowly starting to catch it. He was slowly starting to come online. Anyway. Yeah. But yeah, so Daniel Ricciardo was supposed like Zach loves to do that, right? Lando is not is not safe in that way. I don't think ever. So, but this Aston Martin thing is interesting because if you look at the history of that, when Red Bull hired Newey, it wasn't on like Donkey Kong right away. Right. His cars tend to take a while. They tend to be delicate, and Hondas are not on like Donkey Kong right away. So, I mean, if this aero upgrade is anything, it shows that they're on the right track now. And and you know, we'll see how this Honda upgrade does.
That'll be really telling because, you know, I know as much as we trashed Newey this year and, you know, the whole, like, I'm team principal, I'm not anymore. Like, you know, this aero jump for them to gain as much time as they did purely with aero is, you know, telling of the Newey who still has it, you know? And, you know, I think that he historically has been like unafraid to go with something bold, learn from it, and then figure it out. And if, you know, the Honda power unit can stop its vibrations, if they can make a jump, then I think there could be something at least interesting there. Do I think that they really have a real shot at like challenging at the top? Like, no, but I don't know. It is Adrian Newey, so who the fuck knows?
And it's Fernando Alonso.
And it's also, Fernando. Well, he has stated that Fernando, like, because there were some rumors, you know, we were kind of positing, should he go to Alpine? Should he kind of jump ship? He has stated that, like, he's returning. He's like, I'm coming back, baby. Like this, what I like. What I see.
I like what I see. But if Fernando Alonso is staying on, then where's Max going to go? Because Lance Stroll's not going anywhere. So
right.
That is such a bullshit logjam on a seat.
Yeah.
I mean, because that is a really interesting team that only has one seat available.
Right.
Because that would be an interesting place for, if you imagine if that was a real seat, because that would be a great place. That would be an interesting place for George Russell. That would be an interesting place for Carlos Sainz. That would be like, that is a life raft right there. If you're a quality driver who wants to take a bet, who wants to take a swing at a championship, that is a Yuki Tsunoda. That is a prime Yuki. That Yuki Tsunoda would have that seat right now. Honestly, Jenny points out that is maybe. like if honestly, if Lance Stroll like slips on a banana peel tomorrow, Yuki Tsunoda is in that seat. He just is. He just is. Right? Yeah. I mean, Honda is getting on the phone in 30 seconds and says, Tsunoda-san. Tsunoda? Tsunoda?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yuki or Tsunoda?
Yuki or Tsunoda? Yuki or Yuki? They're totally doing that. 100,000% they're doing that. But in the long term, think about, because Audi's the moonshot pick right now.
Right.
Because there are these two sleeping giants. You have Audi and you have Aston Martin.
Right.
So, but that's the Lance Stroll thing is really fucking everything up because Oscar Piastri would be looking at it. I think George Russell would be looking really seriously at it. And I think, who else would be looking serious?
I mean, I don't think Max would really be looking seriously at it, but I think it would be interesting. You know, part of the argument also that Mark Hughes makes is like, you know, do you really want to go to just like the best team? Do you really want to like go just kind of like
it's like video games. Do you want to build up a team?
Yeah, I mean, look at what Schumacher did with Ferrari. Like he went to Ferrari when it was not, you know, he made it. He knew that like, you know what? Let me eat some shit for a couple of years because if I can turn this ship around, I'm good. I will. I'll live on forever. Like my legacy will live on forever, and that is exactly what fucking happened. And I think like with Max, it's not he has nothing chasing. Else to prove with rings. Yeah, he doesn't seem to care about that.
Because here's the thing: people talk about rings, but you have to talk about like the quality of the ring. Like LeBron just went to the Sixers, right?
Exactly.
Look, he definitely ring chased. But you have to like, he's won what? 3 rings?
4 rings.
4 rings.
1 in Cleveland, 1 in LA, and 2 in Miami.
2 in Miami. The one that's worth the most is the one in Cleveland was fucking crazy. That
is the championship that will go down as like, and LeBron is one of the greatest of all times. Everyone will point to that championship. No one even fucking talks about the Heat championships. They barely talk about the Lakers championship. It was the bubble, which people don't credit as much, even though a lot of the players like, this is actually the hardest one to win. Whatever. Yeah. But like, it's the Heat champion. It's the Cavs championship. It's the hardest
one to win for them because they're like, look, we couldn't go to the club. The food sucked. LeBron's I'm like 35. I don't even go out anymore that much. Like,
this is great for me. This is awesome. I can walk to work. This rocks. I think there's this emphasis on rings, right? There's this emphasis on the number of championships that you have, and maybe Max has it in his mind. But everything that he says, it's like, he doesn't seem to give that much of a fuck about that. He's interested in like what's interesting to him. Now, I think that like Toto is interesting to Max. He has been interesting to Max. He's certainly interesting to Yas. Yas is like totally enamored by Toto. And I think that like there is this allure that Mercedes has and that Toto has. Also, there's just like more history there with Mercedes. Mercedes is the only, McLaren, Mercedes, and Ferrari of like the 3 teams that like have been around. Obviously, Mercedes took their huge gap, but like they were part of the early, glory, in the 50s and the 60s, and in Formula One, in the very beginning out, and then obviously the Le Mans disaster, they were out for a very long time after that and came back, but like. there is some history there. Aston Martin's this new team. It's kind of like, but maybe Max finds that to be interesting. They have a kind of Red Bull ethos in that way a little bit. They're like, we're here. We're fucking like here.
McLaren has legacy though.
No, they do 100%.
McLaren's been was a top bitch until like the early 2000s.
No, that's what I was saying. Ferrari, McLaren, and Mercedes have though that legacy element to them.
Yeah, Aston Martin is an upstart for sure. I think there is a narrative, like it's not this, not to beat this dead horse, but it's like Jalen Brunson's ring in the Knicks, like he's instantly hit a new stratosphere. And I think if the problem is like if he goes to Aston Martin and wins a championship there, it will be considered greater than if he just went to McLaren and won one, right? Because McLaren's already a winning organization.
Right.
But it's not as great as like the better arc is what Lewis is trying to do now, right? Going to Ferrari, which is kind of this fallen behemoth and trying to like revive this fucking we talk about this in our book, which you should pre-order now. Link is in the bio. It's like trying to unsink the fucking Titanic. It's the Titanic. It's this great ship.
Yeah.
And it's at the bottom of the fucking ocean. And can you unfucking sink it?
Well, next year will be 20 years. Next year will be in 2027 it'll be 20 years since they've won a championship.
Yeah.
07 with Kimi. Can they do it?
That was a bullshit championship anyway.
Right.
That wasn't even that they didn't win that as much as McLaren fucking lost that because why? Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because Ron Dennis decided I want Lewis and fucking Alonso to be together. Now, to Dennis's defense, he didn't know Lewis was Lewis until he Lewis.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He knew it was going to be good. I don't think he knew it was going to be that good.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's part of also like talk about the championship. Obviously, like Lewis's run of domination in the Mercedes is part of what makes him the GOAT that he is. But like if I look at Lewis's career and I think of like why, like what's the clearest indication that this guy's a fucking legend?
Yes,
and that
it's
this
the
guy's a
2007.
GOAT?
It's
07, 08. It's 07, 08. It's like
right.
his first year he comes in and he's right there on the pace with Fernando Alonso.
Exactly.
He ties him. They lose the championship by like 1 point. The next year he comes back. He wins the championship. They choose him over Alonso. Like there it is. This guy is this guy's the guy. Anyway, we will see what happens. Honestly, these pictures of Max with Toto on the thing, I'm like, he's going. I think he's going to Mercedes. I think he's going to Mercedes.
Yeah.
I think he's going to drop George. Listen, like who knows what George is? He's said that he's going to be there in 2027, right? And maybe he will. But there's got to be some performance clauses in there. There's some outs for Toto.
I don't know if George is hitting them. I don't know if he's hitting them.
I think that, George is not hit. Believe me, I believe that George he's out of the window. Like
there's no way he's in the window.
There's no way currently he's in the window.
Yeah. Where is he right now? Third, fourth in the driver's standings?
Yeah. He's third,
honestly,
I believe,
here's the crazy part. He might third. Be... When does because I think Max might be able to leave right now.
Yes, I think definitely.
Could he fire George right now is the better question. I mean, he could. He probably no. I mean, you could fire a driver whenever you want. You just might have to pay them.
Sure.
But I think technically he could, like, if he wanted to just pay George to fuck off, he could hire Max right now. Now, the question is, there's no way the Mercedes board would be like, wait, you're going to like fire a perfectly good driver and then pay him a stupid, like, no.
Right.
Okay. According to Max's exit clause allows him to leave Red Bull if outside the top two from summer break through October.
Mm-hmm.
we're in summer break right now.
Yeah. No, he's fully. Max could leave whenever he wants.
Max could leave right now. The question is does now this would be great. You know what would be the best?
Yeah.
This would be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Does Toto have the balls? Oh my God, Brian. Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Yes.
Toto.
Yes.
Because I know we talked about as human beings, right? As human beings, Toto should treat George fairly and better. Mm-hmm. But as fans of a great season, does Toto Wolff have the balls?
Yeah.
Does he have the nads?
Yeah.
To fire George right the fuck now.
Yep.
Put Max in the car and then give us a real fucking championship. Give us a real fucking battle. Because I think Max probably takes the points with him. Right. See if Max can hunt Kimi down in these last. How does that even work? I guess Max probably takes the points with him.
I think you would take the points with you. Yeah, 100 he's down currently 110 points to one Kimi Antonelli. And you know what? If they keep adding races, then we'll see because Malaysia's happening.
Brian, I'm the Randy from South Park like splooge meme.
Yeah,
if Toto did that right now, just got rid of George, put Max in and says, "Okay, buddy, let's see what you can do." Mm-hmm. That would literally be this season would become the greatest season of all time. See, if Max could try to hunt down Kimi in this last, all of a sudden it would be like all these people that have been bitching, and the other thing that would be great.
Yeah,
is all these people are like, not the battery and it's not good. All of a sudden, those people I think a lot of those people would shut the fuck up and be like, greatest season of all time. Greatest. Because a lot of them are just Max fans and just want Max to be competitive. You put Max in the car, you shut those fucking people up and they're like, wow, wow, suddenly the season's amazing. I'm like, well, really? Really? You're not talking about
these regulations.
I love
them. Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, Toto, then why are you doing all this? Why are you hanging out with Max in Sardinia? Why you got him on the yacht? Just do it. Just get the people what they want, and
give the people what they want,
and put George Russell out of his fucking misery. Put George Russell back, an old yeller that guy.
Tell him to take Lenny. Just tell him to look out on the lake and just fucking blow his head off.
That's right.
Tell me about the rabbits, George. Tell me about the rabbits. Boom.
Yeah. Well, it's like this season has been. Let's just be honest. The season's been a bit of a dud. The season's been a little bit of we've gotten spoiled the last few years. There's been some even last year as much with all the. As much as chaotic as it was and as annoying as it was at times, those papaya rules gave us something to talk about. And that championship battle was interesting, and Max coming in was fascinating. It does seem like this year kind of has a little bit of that stank on it. There's also, all the drama with the new regs actually. And then, there's been discussion about, with these regs, there's the power. Everything's about power, your battery, how much battery you got, how much deployment did you use here, how much deployment did you use there. And in the beginning of the season, we had the little markers on our screen. We would watch the races that would say, this is how much battery this person has. Look, you can see their battery levels. And then for some reason, those went away. Those disappeared. And Ed Straw from the race actually asked one Stefano Domenicali about this. And Stefano Domenicali had some interesting things to say about it. He said the truth is exactly the other way around. Because Ed Straw said, fans want the power levels. We want to see what's going on. Domenicali said the truth is actually the other way around because no one is interested in how you drive your car. Crazy thing to say. To say. People are interested if you are overtaking or not. The vast majority of the people, I agree that there are certain people who are focused on this thing that is very important. It's like when you were opening the DRS and people were not interested in what was the cause of the pass. So he's basically like, people don't care about that. They don't care about
Power schmower.
Power schmower.
What's interesting is that I think they're both right. I know that's kind of a cop-out.
Yeah.
Like, they should have that thing up, but a lot of people don't care.
Support for the show comes from Hims. The amount of conflicting advice out there about hair loss is honestly exhausting. Shampoos, supplements, office visits. It's hard to know what is worth your time. Well, guess what? Hims cuts through all of it with real trusted treatment plans and 100% online process. Hims offers convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments with ingredients that work, including chews, oral medications, serums, and sprays. Their prescription strength ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil can help prevent further hair loss and can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. Find the right hair growth treatment for you with flexible subscription options, access to 24/7 provider support, and once-a-day treatment options that fit your daily routine. It's straightforward, it's transparent, and it's designed to make getting care feel easy. So, for simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/redflags. That's hims.com/redflags for your free online visit. Once again, hims.com/redflags. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Individual results may vary. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information.
I find I think the race is one of the best sources out there, but they kind of hate F1. They hate F1. They won't shut up about it. It's just like, move on. It's over. Like, these are the regs. You know what I mean?
Right.
They suck. Move on. It's like if we were doing the World Cup and they just kept doing think pieces about VAR. Like, VAR sucks. Like, why don't you just cover the fucking game?
Right.
Like, these guys won't stop bitching about VAR.
Well, they did have an article recently being like, ticket sales surprisingly doing well.
That's what I'm talking about. They're like, shockingly, ticket sales are going well. Like, why are you like shitting on the sport that you call? Like, oh my, like, because and you know what that is? That is proof that Stefano that is proof that Domenicali is right. Right. That most people don't give a fuck. Some people do, and those people, I think are like the kind of stickier fans, the people who care about, and that's what you need to worry about. The people who are going to stay long term care about that shit. The people who are like treat it like Coachella are maybe not as the people that are there for like the Instagram pic. Like, we see when we go.
It's like Skittles. These are like, you know, it feels good right now, but these are like, you know, for the long-term health of the sport is this, you know what I mean?
Right. Because maybe Formula One won't be the cool thing in like 15 years, 10 years.
Right.
Because a lot of people go there to Aura Farm. It's the new cool thing because you want to know why? Because there's like because what's great about F1 is there's like a first class, a second class, a third class, a fourth class, a fifth class. And like, you can stunt on a lot of hose in F1. Like, even getting the provisional pass, the rotational pass, you can be in the paddock. Yeah. That is a great way to stunt on hose. Yeah. On flex. So I think, those people don't care. Those people don't care. For sure.
I do think that they should put I mean, like, here's what it is. I do think that they should put the battery thing on there. I do think also that, like, they are afraid of acknowledging that there is a battery because they're so afraid of. This is part of the issue, is that, like, the fans who really give a fuck about wanting to see what's going on with the battery are the same fans being like, fuck the battery! I hate the battery!
They're gonna be the Leo DiCaprio meme pointing whenever it's clipping.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Right. That's bullshit. That's not even an overtake. This isn't even a race. This isn't even a race. It's like, you know.
But I also think the other key point is, I don't even think that thing is reading it accurately. I think it's just kind of a guess. So, so I don't even think that they don't even have the right, because these teams are so sneaky and proprietary that like, I don't even know if they're going to like give the broadcasters fucking access to their deployment data so they can actually accurately, you think they're going to let because then that's an advantage. So
huge,
I think they're just, so I think they're just kind of guessing at where the deployment and power is, which is really stupid. Because I think they could have designed this in a simpler, more elegant way. Like in IndyCar, they have the push to pass system and you just know how many seconds each person has. And it's like really fucking simple. There's a number. It's like, oh, okay. He's got not that much boost. He's got a ton of boost. So you just, and like an idiot can see it and it's publicly available, where this is like really complicated because it regenerates every lap. Right.
Also, I think you want to understand like there is a dark art to it. There's got to be a dark art to it. I mean, look no further than Kimi Antonelli and George Russell, that like, you know, like there is a skill to being able to work these regs. And right now we just don't even know why, how, or what the fuck is going on. So you can't really appreciate what a driver is doing. And I think that like that is a shame. And I understand that like Stefano has this real desire to push back on like anyone who doesn't. I understand that he runs Formula One and can't like kind of like a give in X, Y, and Z. But like I do agree that there is a stickiness to the fan who wants to understand what the fuck is going on in a detailed manner, and you have to service that fan, and you can't just like go for like the lowest common denominator. They will enjoy it either way. If a fan doesn't care, guess what? They won't give a fuck. They won't care either way. Why? Like it's not like they're going to care less if there's more information on the screen.
Also, you're not going to give an opportunity for a casual fan to get more engaged if they can't understand it. Like the person who's aura farming is only going to aura farm. They're never going to get any deeper into it. I mean, you know, I was like, when I was watching the World Cup, I was really trying to understand the formations and it was, I was finding it difficult. And I was like, you know, fuck it. Never mind. Yeah. So like, so you know, so, and I wished that the announcers were talking more about the formations and the tactics. And, you know, I mean, when you're watching Spain, for instance, you're like, okay, yeah, these guys just fucking hold the ball and they don't let go. And you kind of get a feel for it. But I guess the other thing that sucks about it is that I think the other hard part, and it comes back to the IndyCar thing, is like this dynamic is like lap to lap, it's corner to corner. It is so hard because it's changing every 3 seconds.
Yes.
So I think the engine regenerating, it's so much harder to quantify over the course of a fucking lap than like your fuel over the course of a fucking race stint, or your tires over the course of a race stint. Where it's like quantifying something over a course of a lap is just like, it's so much fucking harder because it's like. Because it's like, oh, he's got battery. He doesn't. He's got it. He doesn't. He's got it. It's like, even if they did have it accurately, when you were watching it, like it was really hard to follow. It's like, he's got it. He doesn't. He's got it. He doesn't. And the other guy, he's got it. It was like hard to follow anyway. So I think like, even if they nailed it, it's still pretty illegible.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, they are doing
and
a bunch of changes.
He did this before.
For the future cars.
Also, Dominicali sucks because he just recently, like George Lucas was in the paddock a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, right. He mentioned Luke. Yeah, yes.
I had an incredible and interesting discussion with George Lucas on Saturday. He was in Hungary. He gave me an incredible view on how the new fans are watching Formula One, and he gave us incredible perspective to see how we can really simplify things, because the new fans are not understanding the truth of what is behind the scenes. They are fascinated by the fact that there is a lot of action. It's just like, he just like said his talking point. He just gave his talking point to George Lucas. Like, you know.
Or who knows, maybe George Lucas did say some version of that, and he was just like, well, George Lucas said it, so everyone shut up.
Yeah. Ever heard of Star Wars?
I'm watching The Valley. Have you heard of this show, The Valley? It's a spin-off of Vanderpump Rules, which is like the greatest show in Bravo history. And in The Valley, there's this guy named Danny. Danny is an actor. He's married to a former Miss USA contestant, and Danny has a drinking problem. But he and his wife want to really keep up the Joneses of like, we are a perfect marriage. Like, everything's amazing with us. We have 4 kids, and everything's amazing. And this is like the controversy of the show is that everyone's like, well, Dark Side Danny, when Danny drinks, Dark Side Danny comes out. Dark Side Danny comes out. And last season, people were like, I don't really see Dark Side Danny. Like there was a lot of Danny defenders. And then this season, like, you've seen it more and more and more. And it's become pretty obvious that, like, this guy has a fucking drinking problem. And at this point, if you're denying that you're in denial in some way about some shit. And at the reunion's about to happen, and apparently at the reunion they released this clip. I guess like Seth Rogen was on some podcast, and he was like, I don't know, like I've yet to see like Dark Side Danny. Like, yeah, he drinks, but like, where's the Dark Side Danny that like comes out? And he said that he was like, well, Seth Rogen doesn't think I have a drinking problem. And then everyone's like, bully for you, bully for Seth Rogen. Like, I'm sorry, is he like? Well, Seth Rogen said it, but like, he's an actor. He's like, well, like, Seth Rogen thinks that I'm awesome. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like,
well, your wife thinks you're not. So
yeah. Well, she's in denial too, but it's just like, you know, George Lucas, great. George Lucas thinks that it's awesome, but like, let's pay a little bit more attention to what people are saying. But I do think this is the last thing I'll say about this, and let's move on. Part of the like incredulousness of the F1 fandom about these regs has put Dominicali and has put Formula One in this kind of like defensive position, because people are just like, day one, this is a travesty. There's no room for improvement. Like, fuck this, fuck like the way that the larger F1 world has kind of like just thrown every middle finger up. And that includes, I think, a lot, you know, like elements of that include like the Maxes and the Max fandom of the world. It's like, it's kind of put Formula One in this like weirdly defensive position where they have to be like, everything's perfect. It's like, it's clearly not. There's a fucking truth in the middle here. But this is all the next story I want to get to, which is kind of interesting. They don't want to do anything different because these team valuations, the valuation of the sport is just like continuing to go up, and up. Because Flavio Briatore, he said that when he sold his share in Benetton, the value of the team was $80 million. Now, this is a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But now the teams are worth... Yeah, but now the teams, he said, are worth 3.5 to 4 billion, and he thinks that in not long from now they'll be worth $10 billion. That these teams are only continuing to rise in value. They have this new partnership with Gucci. More and more big business is getting involved and enjoying it. So, like, at the end of the day, and this is also part of the compromised position that, you know, like Stefan, he's a CEO of Formula One. He's there to like raise the value on paper of Formula One, and that is continuing to happen. And until that starts to kind of like decline, I don't think they're incentivized to really give a fuck about what anyone has to say about it.
You're right. I mean, it's interesting. You know, you see this in the NBA, right? Where, you know, teams move. They have these like intense salary cap penalties now, where now players are just, you know, players were too restricted before. Yeah. And then they you know, they had these new collective bargaining agreements that really empowered the players, like encouraged player movement, which was, you know, good. And they tried to increase parity. It was very important to increase parity, right? And that was good for the value of the league, right? And they've had like so many different winners, right? Yeah. Across, you know, how many they've had, like 8 different.
There hasn't been a repeat winner since Golden State. It's like the last 10 championships have not been repeats.
Right. So there's been all these like and Formula One's trying to do this too, right? They've instituted a cost cap. They've done this stuff with the wind tunnel. They've tried, and parity has really increased in Formula One, even though there's still the haves and have-nots. Like the gaps, like the time gaps, have really shrunk, and you see it in the NBA, right, where like player movement, salary cap more strict, and the parity has increased. But they're talking about now, like, with the team, a lot more teams are moving, a lot more players moving. People are not really fans of teams as much anymore. Like people are fans of players, and like players don't get stuck in anywhere. Like with this Jaylen Brown trade, like a lot of people in Boston are really upset. Like they thought, like other than like Steph Curry might be like the last player to like actually like the last superstar to like be drafted by a team and just retire with the team. Like that doesn't happen anymore. And it might, and they don't care, right? Because the values of these teams keep going up, but like teams are starting to matter less because they're no longer the homes of these players that you follow. They're just like way stations for players to like, it's like almost like players are now like circus acts that travel. Okay, I'll do a couple years here. It's like residencies. I'll do a residency in Miami. I'll do a residency in Cleveland. I'll do a residency in LA. And it's like that they're almost just like theaters for them to perform in for a couple of years. And that's like, so far the values are growing, but when is the bottom going to fall out on that? And I guess the question is like, if you keep appealing to the lowest common denominator in F1, like when is the bottom going to fall out on that? The answer is not yet. Not yet. And and private equity takes over everything with these stadiums and in the NBA and NFL, and they treat the fans like shit, and they focus more on luxury boxes, and it's the increasing private equitification of sports that gets shittier and shittier and alienates the hardcores. Right. How can we make how can we like maximize profit? How can we make our corporate shareholders happiest? Right. I think, and I think that, these engine regulations were that, right. It's like, how do we get the most, get the corporate guys the hardest, right? How do we get Audi, an engine manufacturer, the hardest? It wasn't like, how do we make the fans the happiest? Right. We've kind of like, sports has kind of lost that. How do we make the fan service is kind of dead. They've kind of treated fans like, oh, they're just the great unwashed. They'll watch whatever slop we throw their way. So far they've been right. So far they've been right.
Yeah, it's sticky. It's like it's a difficult situation because it's like, at some point there will be like a tipping point. It feels like there will be a tipping point with all this stuff.
Yeah, the tipping point, you see it with Marvel, right? The tipping point is like you have a couple of bad years and they're like, fuck, we have to reboot, recast. Okay, we're bringing Robert Downey Jr. back. Like, you see you see it in Marvel, right? They're like, okay, we're going to do this now. We're going in this new direction. Oh, fuck. Like Robert Downey Jr. is like the V8. We're bringing back the V8. You know? Chris Hemsworth's coming back. Chris Hemsworth, we're bringing, like, because they did the whole like Eternals thing. Like, we're the Eternals, the whole new direction, right? I mean, the thing with Jonathan Majors is a separate point, but they had a whole new bad guy. They're like, okay, scrap that. We're bringing back the old guys. We're bringing back the V8. It's like, the Marvel is a great example of like, fuck, never mind. We're going back to this, right? It's bad. It's like the bottom line gets hurt. That's it.
Yeah.
So, if the bottom line doesn't get hurt, they're not going to be incentivized, for sure.
Yeah. And then when will the bottom line get hurt? That's where I also feel
that's why Ed Straw is pissed off. That's why the Rays is pissed off. They're like, fuck, ticket sales keep going up. Like, shit. They want the bottom to fall out of the sport because they want the V8s. They want our Robert Downey Jr. back.
Right. And that's where I think the players and the drivers have a degree of power as well. Cause it's like, if like the machine that is Formula One and the business side of it can, continue to hum and continue to capitalize on all this shit, that is where, as much as I've criticized him at times, like that is where if these drivers can all like kind of get together and be like, we want it to be a different way. That's where player strikes have happened in the past. That's where like there is power in a players association. That's where there is power, hopefully and potentially in like a drive, like because now more and more drivers keep talking about that this sucks. Now they are working on it, and in theory, like next year won't be as bad. And we've seen races this year where the power, in the non-Monzas of the world, but in the Hungaries of the world, and in those tracks that aren't completely dependent on straight line speed down a long straight, it hasn't been so bad. But like Oscar's come out pretty intensely against it. Lando's come out and talked a bunch of shit about it. Like a lot of the drivers are seemingly together on this, and if they bandied together, that would be the real potential incentivization for them to adjust. And I think that they are adjusting, but I don't know. I'm curious when this tipping point will happen, or if it ever will, or would the valuation just keep going up and up and up, or is it an AI bubble? It's an AI bubble. Okay. In other news, speaking of this Formula One season, obviously there was the news about the Malaysian Grand Prix, but there is some talk about what will happen at the end of the year if this conflict in the Middle East is not solved, as I don't have much hope that it will be by that time. So come September, there will be a decision potentially to cancel the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and the Qatar Grand Prix and have the final race of the year be at Imola after Vegas. So the two races would go away and we'd get one final race in Imola. It would be very cold around that time of year. There's a potential for snow around Imola at that time of year. But it wouldn't necessarily be that much colder than what they've dealt with in Vegas. What are your thoughts on ending the year potentially at Imola?
Well, yeah, I mean, when Dominicali, I think it was Dominicali that was saying like, it might snow, the Pirelli won't have the snow tires ready. And I thought, oh my God, if there was a snow race, I mean,
that would be sick.
How epic would that be? How fucking epic would a snow race be?
Yeah. How are your aerodynamics now, bitch? I mean,
I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited for a winter race. I think given the state of our world, F1 should reflect the current environment of our world, right?
Yeah.
I think that, 90s, there was all about, in the age of computer, during the space age, right? When we were going to the moon and shit. Everything was about like, oh, look at this carbon fiber that we've discovered. It was all about carbon fiber. During the 90s, it was all about, oh, look at traction control, right? The computers became a part of F1. The age of computing. Now we're in the age of, oh, fuck. Global warming. Temperatures are whack. Shit, there's a conflict over there. Fuck, we can't go there. The strait's open, the strait's closed. Like that's the world these days. Temperatures are, it's cold, it's hot, it's cold, it's hot. F1 needs to be able to race on a moment's notice somewhere else. It could be really hot, it could be really cold. We don't know, right? That's what it means to be a citizen in this world. It's freakishly hot, it's freakishly cold. Missiles might be flying, so you might not be able to race there. So we got to race somewhere else on a very short notice.
Right.
That's what it means to be alive in this era.
Right.
So they need to be prepared. So I think this is a perfect reflection of where we are in our current time.
Yeah. The thing that will be interesting there is that it's Kimi Antonelli's hometown. And if he's going to win this, they're going to be like, I just found out that he was actually born. I believe this is correct. I believe that he was born in the same hospital where Senna died. Senna died at Imola. And Kimi was born in Bologna, in Imola. He was born at that, like, it would be in his hometown, lifting up of him, because it's interesting. We're talking about the future of Formula One. We're talking about the state of
Ferrari fans wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Antonelli were going neck and neck, and it was for Kimi's championship, and it was for Lewis's like first, second win in Ferrari.
Yeah.
They're rooting for Lewis. 100%. 100%. We know what it is.
Right.
So stop trying to make fetch happen with Kimi Antonelli in Italy. It's not happening. It's not fucking happening. They're a doomed people. They're a doomed people. They're stuck in this toxic relationship with Ferrari. Kimi is the nice guy that she should choose, but she's not gonna. She's never gonna choose the right guy. She's got daddy issues, and she's gonna keep choosing Ferrari forever.
And she's saying, I'm changing, baby. I'm gonna be different next year. We're gonna win it next year, baby. We're gonna win it next year.
Stella! That's Ferrari.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll try as they might. It's like we talk about like the state of the championship, right? And like what would keep the fans in it, even with the regs, is like you want it to be interesting. And so far,
a title battle involving not George, because someone doesn't care. You need Lando in the mix. You need Max in the mix. You need
Max going. Honestly, Max going to Mercedes would make it interesting, would it? Because would he just run the table with fucking?
If I'm Domenicali, I'm setting everyone down. I'm going, look, you really want your share prices to increase? Let's finance Max's move. Let's finance this.
Yeah.
Let's pay for this because we're going to make so much fucking money. All of us. If we could pay for, look, they're going to win the championship any fucking way, right? It's not even like you're giving them a competitive advantage. They're already winning. Just let's pay for George to leave. Let's pool our money, get George to leave, get Max fucking in there, and it's just going to be, it's going to be, you're going to see numbers like you've never seen before. It's going to do like numbers. People are going to be telling me, wow, those are some crazy numbers.
Yeah. It's the biggest crowds I've ever seen. Yeah. Just like the county fair that they did for the 250.
Yeah.
No, that would be, or it's either that or if Ferrari becomes competitive again and like Lewis has a chance to win the 8th and like it'll be like with the Knicks, like all like the Knicks fandom being like, it's like they took over every stadium, like the Tifosi, the Scuderia.
Ferrari's got to come back online.
They will. That would really put a turbocharge
that, I think,
on everything. Just last little pieces of news. Williams is looking like they have new upgrades coming, but they're not going to be very good. James Vowles is already talking about how this is all about setting themselves up well for 2027.
What a jackass. What a
kick that can right down the road. Also, in other news, the stewards, we were talking about how the stewards judge Max differently, right? We were talking with Gunter about that. You were actually Gunter was misquoted. I think they took it down, but I think Autosport put up a thing that was like, Gunter Steiner says that the stewards think twice about giving Max Verstappen, and they basically quoted you. They put your whole quote, and they said that Gunter said it. And then all the comments.
Honestly, I'm not even upset about it. I'm honored that they think Gunter said something I said.
but then all the comments were like, fucking dumbass. It was like shitting on the quote, and I was like, I think they took it down. But redemption, because
if you don't think that the stewards treat Max differently, then you need to check yourself for a head injury.
Well, it's Verstappen Kingdom who like thinks that he's constantly being the disrespect. Of course, it's like when Max.
Well, are you stuck in a coma? Since 2020? Did you just wake up in a coma since 2020? Are you fucking crazy? They engineered his championship for 2021. It's crazy.
But before that, he said, remember what he was like, of course they're gonna fuck me again. Of course. Yeah. You have to have that like kind of like delusional chip on your shoulder.
That's
okay,
fine
this is
for him to have, but his fans need to be realistic here. Jesus.
What former F1 driver Vintantonio Luisi said, because he is currently an FIA steward, he said about Max, even while he's being overtaken, he thinks about how to position himself so he can, if not, be in the wrong. The interviewer asked, he's the most precise in this, even more than Hamilton, even more than anybody else. As a steward, Max is making things difficult for us, says Liuzzi. Because when we have to manage an incident, he always manages to be on the borderline with his position, but right or wrong, because he's also taking his penalties, he makes things difficult for us because it's difficult to analyze him, because he puts himself in the uncomfortable position for us to analyze, while very often the other incidents are clearer and easier to manage. So they're saying that Max is so good at being like, no, it wasn't actually my fault, like, because technically
he's in the gray area. Yeah,
he's in the gray, which I think to an extent is true, and I think also there's an added awareness of all the hell that has been raised on his behalf by the Christian Horners and the Jonathan Wheatleys of the world in the past.
There's a lot he's not saying here. He puts us in a really difficult position because of the way he places his car.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with like his attitude or his fans or or honestly, like Christian Horner. Christian Horner was a big part of that. Who the fuck wants to deal with him every week?
Right.
So if it's a 50-50 ball, I mean, he's getting away with it, even if it's 60-40.
Right.
Lewis, class act, gets away with fucking nothing.
Right. 0.01 kilometer for the pit limiter in Hungary. That was what it came down to there. So a little bit of redemption for everyone saying that your quote, which they attributed to Gunter, was actually fucking stupid. Now we've heard it from the fucking horse's mouth.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Max gets judged just like everybody else.
Yeah. He never gets
like
any
you're
calls.
Dumb. You're literally a dumb person if you think that. You're so dumb.
Anyway.
Yeah. Max gets judged just like Liam Lawson. Crazy. Crazy.
Liam fucking Lawson. We'll see what happens with the rest of this with the silly season. I'm not expecting there to be too much movement, but there is still a lot to come this summer break. I mean, we have some great episodes coming up. On Wednesday, we will have Gunter doing a tier ranking of the drivers of the season so far, a little mid-season review from Gunter. And then next week, we're doing something a little bit differently. We're going to be doing the biggest party boys in Formula One history, a trip through the memory lane, partly because we've done a ton of research for our books. We want to share some of what we've learned in our research. That'll be coming for you next week. So much to look forward to for the rest of the summer break. We're going to keep you entertained. Give us any ideas of episodes that you want us to talk about while we are in this time off. I think that does it for us. Of course, this podcast would not be possible without all of you watching right now. If you are, please subscribe and also hype us. That's a new thing. If you're watching on YouTube, please hype us. Please also be subscribed wherever you are. And join the Patreon. This pod would not be possible without that, and more specifically, our daddies who got to thank. We got to thank Kayla, Robin, Jordan, Texera, Jay Lingo, Spencer Grieve, Javier, Sheila Valeri, Chandler, Ali Santana, Carla Juarlo, Kimberly Whaden, Alonso, My Face 69, Donya Dinad, Deadbeat Daddy Muhammad, Jimmy, Kimmy, sponsored by Mommy in the Pod, Hollister 584, Delusional Science Fan, Cat, Future Dr. Dion, Steph Grossi, Laura, Emily Gillenwater, Cody Hulls, My F1 Daddy, Branch W, Keep Up the Science Hate, Hunter Scruggs, Salmonella, Mozzarella, I'm a Leclerc fan, and yes, it hurts. Jay Kess, George Russell is Evil Peter Parker from Spider-Man 3, Matt Edwards is always right. I wish I was Max and Danny's love child. Delaney Andrews, Henry Kasky, Miles Lewis, Alexander, Maggie B, Kaylee Breyer, Eve the Y, Devin, aka the View Dr. Sullivan's PA, Courtney Fraser, Yuki Tsunoda's other mother, Jenny is the reason I am a daddy, Megan, Aaron, Pineapple with a Y, Matt has a secret wonder for Carlos Sainz. Unfortunately, it's Gary, Carolina. My name is AJ and fuck the HOA. K Mac can fuck smash my door any day. The official F1 race program and its executive editor Sarah. I got tickled by the Tifosi. Hey Jed, good luck out there. Allison Sane, Juge, F1 Dude Company, Trent Sickman, Code Brown Sonoda, Jerome Ferreira, Colapinto is a fraud, Aaron, Shahid, Jeans, Rocks or Chohan, Catalick my balls, Say Fear, Leclerc, Truth, Bring 'em Mama Burns, Arthur Leclerc is hotter, Carl Lost Science, OP Goblin, right? Meow, James, DNCTT, Finny, Daddy, Kev, Not Magnuson, Mr. Ed, Bobby, Leonard Norris's unofficial girlfriend. Why do I always talk two on this name? Winkin, Lizzie Y, Jafar from afar, Stroll, Pay the Troll Toll, Get in the Boys Hole, Andrew Prisco, Rojo the Bambino, The Great Paul Bino, Sausage Boy Atticus, Uno Cinco, Scott Men's Likes, Cappuccino Lays, Ford, InBody, Andrew, and Paige, and our newest daddy, David. Honorary Daddy of the Week, this week, every week, Nicole Piastri. If you want to go to the Daddy of the Pod, go to patreon.com/TRFpod and join the resistance today. We're going to have a bunch of amazing stuff coming for you on Patreon. We're upping our game over there, so please subscribe if you are not. Until next time, Vankas, we'll see you on Wednesday.
Goodbye, Vankas.